Hi everyone at home, my name's Amy and we thought we would bring our Keeper Talks to your screens. Today we're going to be meeting the lions. Here at Melbourne Zoo we have two beautiful lion brothers, Zubiri and Nadidi. They're 3 years old and they came here from Werribee Zoo about a year ago. Now when we first were told that we were getting 2-year-old lions, a lot of us thought they're going to be so small and cute. They were about 125 kilograms of cute. Now since that time, those boys have grown quite a bit. Their last weigh-in was at about 175 to 180 kilograms. So they're pretty big, but they've still got some growing to do. They haven't fully developed their manes yet. I mean, they've developed them a lot more since they first arrived when they only really had little mohawks, but they've still got to develop those big manes, and they're still working on their roar too, but practice is going really, really well. So other than a pride of lions where you see the dominant male and about 10 to 12 females, the other common social group that you'll see with lions is what we call a coalition, which is effectively a bachelor group. So it's a big group of boys. Now the reason that those bachelor groups form is that those little lion cubs, if any of those are male, typically they don't hang around with that pride of lions for very long. The reason for that is once they start to get a little bit bigger and stronger, that dominant male tends to view them as a threat, so he kicks them out. So life for a young male in a coalition involves a lot of roaming around, hunting when they can, eating when they can. The ideal situation for them is to find another pride of lions with an aging alpha male where they can have a bit of a tussle to take over that throne. Now hierarchy is something that does take quite a bit of time to develop, and it's never entirely certain. With these two young boys, they're still working out that hierarchy. The ideal for them is to develop the largest, biggest, darkest mane. Now we see a lot of these sort of indications of hierarchy starting to play out when we do enrichment with our lions. Now if you haven't heard of this term before, enrichment basically means any form of physical or mental stimulation that encourages wild behaviours or problem solving. Enrichment often takes the form of how we feed our lions, but it's not always food enrichment, it's sometimes scent enrichment. So some examples of that is that we're not going to give our lions silver service food on a platter. That wouldn't be particularly interesting for them, but it wouldn't encourage any of those wild behaviours. So we might do fun things like a bit of a meat treasure hunt for them around the enclosure. So they have to look and smell for that meat. Now, like a lot of big cats, lions have something in the nasal cavity that is called a Jacobson organ. Now that's actually something that a snake has too. So you might see our lions doing this, or our tigers or snow leopards, where they're wandering around and they open up their mouths a little bit, and what they're doing is they're tasting the air. So they're forcing that air up, pushing it towards the roof of their mouth, and that's giving them a scent picture of their surroundings.